Trouble in Victubia by Raven. Chapter 7. A Warning.
Queen Minx sat down on her bed. She cupped her face into her hands and sighed.
What happened to Cry?
Minx stood up and walked out of her bedroom, heading towards her personal bathroom.
I can't believe I just submitted to him.
She let out a half grunt, half scream, and knocked down the closest thing to her, a vase holding some baby's breath and light violet carnations. The vase crashed to the ground loudly, and maids immediately rushed to it.
Don't bother.
When she finally got to her bathroom, she practically tore off her shoes and threw them at the wall. She slammed the door closed and locked it. She unbuttoned her corset and threw it to the ground. Minx raised her cape over her head and took it off as well. Then she slowly took off her dress as to not rip the fabric. That's the only thing she cared about. Her wonderful fiancé Chrism sewed it for her as an engagement gift. Carefully, Minx folded the dress and sat it on the wash basin countertop. She unclipped her brassiere and slid off her undergarments. She ran her fingers up the large scar crossing from her right rib cage to left hip bone. Her mind went back to how she got said scar.
I had walked through Cry's STALK house, searching for the masked man. Scott said Cry wasn't feeling well, so Chrism and I baked him some ginger snaps. We had so much fun. I think I still had a bit of dough in my hair. As I walked through his home, carrying a small basket full of the cookies, I began to hear noises. They sounded like a mixture between cries and screams. I had set the basket down on a nearby coffee table and quickly went to find the source of this noise. I opened the door to find Cry sitting on his bed, weeping. Cry, what's wrong?
I don't feel right.
Well, that's no reason to cry, is it?
It is when you've done what I've done.
What do you mean? What have you done?
I didn't know what I was doing. I just took a knife and I slid it across my arm. I looked at the blood. I smiled. I feel like a monster.
Cry, have you been messing with potions again?
Well, yeah.
That's probably why.
No, it's not.
He looked up. His mask was lying across the bed. I could see his face and his eyes, but his eyes were not kind and gentle like I had seen them before. They were sharp and evil-looking. They looked like frozen sapphires, sharp enough to cut through diamond. He had stood up, a knife in his hand.
It's not always the damn potions. There could be something legitimately wrong with me. And you so nonchalantly blame it on my potions? Are you that ignorant to ignore the fact that your friend could be insane?
No, I just meant it as a suggestion. I had stammered and stepped back, tripping on a fold in the carpet.
Oh, sure. Suggestion? Why? Would you hate me if I were different? If it wasn't always just the potions?
No, of course not, Cry. You're one of my best mates.
Liar!
He had swung his knife at me, sliced through my abdomen. I had moved my hands to the wound in shock. I pulled them away, staring at the blood. Cry had dropped the knife and snapped out of his trance just in time to catch me as I fell. I saw tears stream down his face. Over and over again he sputtered.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I had looked up at him and said, I accept your apology, Ryan, and blacked out. Next thing I knew, I was laying on a hospital bed with gauze wrapped around my abdomen. Cry and Chrism were sleeping in chairs next to me. Later that day, before he left, Cry had broken down crying, telling me how truly sorry he was. How he had healed me, but he felt as if he owed me so much. I told him not to worry, that I'd forgiven him. He kissed my forehead and walked out.
Minx turned the hot water knob and then turned the cold water knob slightly to produce a nice, warm temperature. It filled her large bathtub slowly. The perturbed queen poured in rose water and scentless bubbles into the water, and soon pleasant-smelling foam arose. The water rippled ever so gently as Minx stepped in. She let the warm water envelop her as she sunk in nose deep. Tears escaped her eyes and streamed into the water. Not tears of self-pity, but tears of guilt. Her mahogany and violet hair cascaded around her head. The calming scent of the foam erased her worries about Cry, and she was finally able to relax. She took deep breaths and soaked in her alone time. She grabbed a towelette from the side of the tub and dried her hands and forearms. After setting the towelette down, she grabbed a book from the side table outside the tub and opened it. Its unopened pages felt crisp, and the paper smelled so fresh. Nullam liber omnium e configures effectus. Latin for the book of all magic, the effects and conjurings. Minx went to the table of contents and found what she was looking for. Magicae negere, esser magicae possession. Again, Latin for dark magic, potions, magical possessions. A section in the book that could hold what she needed to know about what happened to Cry. She turned to page 985 to the chapter. While reading, she came across a part that worried her terribly. It read out in English.
And when he was filled with the wrath of dark magic, they passed it shall be done with bloodlust. In this he shall not leave off till he is pleased. Many people are to be killed in his acts to succeed in his desires.
Then she realized this was much bigger than she first thought. If Cry was willing to kill others to take over Victubia, she needed to warn others.
I know Cry threatened me into not telling anyone of his plans, but my life is worth nothing compared to those of my friends in Kingdom.
At this, Minx got out of the bath, tried herself, put her hair up in a towel and put on her undergarments, and then a pair of pants and a sleeveless top. She practically ran out of her bathroom and into the hall barefoot. She accidentally ran into one of her most trusted advisors, Dave, also known as Boyinaband.
Minx, where are you going in such a hurry?
Dave, set up a town meeting in 2 days in town centre.
But, Your Highness, you have 3 scheduled.
I don't care what I've scheduled. Cancel it all. This is extremely important, do you understand?
Of course, my queen. Cancel all plans and announce the town meeting. Any specific time?
As soon as possible. I don't care if you have to wake the whole town yourself. This is a life or death situation, Dave.
Oh. 6 o'clock in the morning be good.
Yes, very good. I must go now.
Dave began to walk off.
And Dave,
Yes, Minx?
don't tell anyone until you officially announce it.
No problem, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
The lovely queen continued to run down the halls and down the grand staircase until she reached the main doors. She threw them open and ran to the town to warn her friends. Minx ran down the street, headed straight for the late-night bar.
I'd figure Cry would go after them first. They are his friends.
So she ran all the way up to the late-night bar, only to find Russ closing up.
Russ!
Oh hey Minx, didn't expect you to be here. Sorry, but it's closing time. What'd you need?
Russ, where's everybody else?
They all went home. Me and Cry usually close up together. But Cry didn't show up today. Weird, huh?
That's exactly what I need to tell you and the others. Something happened to Cry.
What? Is he okay?
I don't know. All I know is that he might have been possessed by some form of dark magic. He called himself Mad. Like, as a name. And Mad is planning to take over Victubia using whatever means necessary.
You're not kidding, are you?
No. We have to warn the others.
Okay, come on. My house is just a few blocks from here. We can ring him on the telephone.
They ran to Russ's home and he got to the telephone as quick as possible. Russ dialed the number and put the listening piece to his ear. Minx walked to the living room to sit down and take a breath. Soon, Russ came out saying he had warned everyone. Suddenly, a large cloud of pitch-black smoke appeared, and with it, so did Mad.
So, Michelle, you told Russ, and Russ told the rest of Cry's merry band,
You're not gonna hurt him, are you?
Aren't I?
No, you're not. And if you do, I'll tell the whole town about what you planned for them.
What are you laughing about?
Sorry, it's just Minx. You're in no position to make threats against me.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, You can go ahead and blab to the town, but I have something of yours that you might want to keep quiet for.
What do you have of mine that could possibly outnumber the lives of the entire fucking town?
Why, your dear lover, of course.
Minx fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. Russ ran to her, hugging her.
He has her. He has my beautiful Chrism.